I truly believe, I don't think there is a book. There is no client list. I think that Epstein was a kind of a perverted dude, had young people there. I don't think there's anything to be found from the Epstein stuff. So, I think that Trump played it up because they wanted it to be and because it looked good as like a hit piece. But like, I think that like the people that pushed this the hardest would have been the ones with most incentive to kill him.
What's up, y'all? So Destiny went on Sean Kelly's show, the Digital Social Hour podcast, to go up against right-wing MAGA host Myron Gaines. This was a great back and forth, good debate. They didn't really talk over each other. They got to some clarity on each other's positions, which is the best thing you could ask from people who usually disagree with each other. This debate was about an hour and a half total, so we're only going to watch a couple clips, and I'll give my thoughts on it afterwards, and you'll give your thoughts in the comment section.
Like, obviously what went down on October 7th was horrible, but I do think it's very important to understand like why things happen and why bad foreign policy leads to these issues. And, you know, I think the only way that we're going to get peace in the Middle East, because, okay, let's say Iran falls. There's going to be a new insurgent group. There's going to be more terrorists. They're going to come in. Until the Palestinians have a state, we're always going to have problems in that area. And with Netanyahu, he doesn't want a two-state solution. We know that he's destroyed the Oslo Accords on multiple occasions. He doesn't want them to have a state. So until we get one,
it's the thing about Israel is like the people are realistic. Like you can compel him, you could force him to do things, but you have to have a U.S. leader that's actually like on board with.
Well, the way we'd have to do it is we'd have to literally make their aid contingent upon them playing nice with the Palestinians.
Yeah,
but they would never do that. That's the problem.
That's why you need a leader to do it, right? Yeah.
Well, see, if we weren't controlled, and I know you disagree with me on this, like if our foreign policy wasn't run by them, and
now this is one of the few issues where Myron Gaines kind of has a point, but it's not like corruption is some hidden backroom type of dealing. Lobbying is straight up. You can see who AIPAC pays for, but it's not just AIPAC. You can see who all the oil companies pay for. You can see who all the health insurance companies pay for. You can see who all the private prison companies pay for. You can see who all the real estate companies pay for. Lobbying, quote unquote, is open corruption. And those companies that bribe politicians control those industries. And it's not just a one-way ticket. They're bribing politicians so that politicians send over billions of dollars in money, weapons, logistics, people. And then the politicians do it because they don't want money being raised against them. They'll rather raise that money themselves. It's a system. It's not a one-way ticket.
You guys got to make peace with these guys. Otherwise, you're not getting aid anymore. But since we continue to give them weapons, they continue to have influence, they control our politicians, they have no incentive to make peace.
If they have so much control over us, then why did Obama sign that nuclear deal in the first place, so?
Well, good question. So he signed it, but he got heavily criticized. Netanyahu came here, shit on him, like in front of our own government. And he's the only other world leader that could do it. And then as soon as Obama got out, he lobbied and Trump took it out. They put Iran on. That's another thing too. Like we put the IRGC on the terrorist watch list, the foreign terrorist list in 2019, Mike Pompeo. That created problems because then we put heavy sanctions on them. Like we had every ability to play nice with Iran and do diplomacy, but we fucked it up. And I would
Israel doesn't have, I mean, like, it's not, well, I guess we disagree. Because I can say, like, Israel can't make Trump, like, be their bitch. Like, I don't think that they don't have that influence. They don't have the economy.
They don't have.
Okay. Yeah,
I think he is beholden to the Israeli lobby, and it really pisses me off because, like, the Adelsons gave him all this money. I mean,
but he doesn't need it. The guy's he had Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world. Like, this guy could have literally gotten fundraised from anywhere in the world, and he would have been okay.
So the reason why he needed the money, because he was facing all the legal cases, so he needed the money to run.
And he's got Trump coin and Melania coin. He doesn't need. I mean,
that was after. I
mean, he's got a fuck ton of money from that, right? He's got a lot of money from that. Legal cases aren't tens or hundreds.
Yeah, but he already won at that point. I'm talking about
his
before. I'm talking about before. Obviously, you know, he had like 4 criminal cases.
Criminal cases. That's right. I mean, like
Hey, they get expensive.
Yeah, but I don't think he needed the Israeli money for that. I think that this guy was the most like popular politician in U.S. history. This guy got fundraised from $1 million.
Myron Mandelson is just one.
Sure.
Like, there's a bunch of other donors that we don't know about that give him money that aren't under AIPAC that we don't know about that, you know, hey, you know, and then look, he got the tech bros in. Peter Thiel, Alice Karp, all these guys, the Palantir guys, these guys are like lifelong progressive Democrats. They all got under Trump bandwagon. Why? Because of Israel.
Because they were triggered by the woke shit.
Bill Ackman, all these guys.
Triggered by the woke shit.
Dude, no.
Do you think Elon Musk was controlled by Israel?
Who would have thought that Myron Gaines would outflank Destiny on the left? Destiny could pretend all he wants. When he's talking to somebody who's saying his position is anti-war, he starts playing his weasel game, saying that Trump didn't need the money to run. That's nonsense. Everyone knows Trump never uses his own money. And like Myron pointed out, he was dealing with felonies, court cases, lawsuits. His money was tied up. Of course he needed their money. So that's so disingenuous by Destiny. But then Myron saying the tech bros were progressives. They were not. The tech bros only want power, a digital dictatorship. The idea that Trump didn't need money as if he was going to use his own money is such a lie. It's such a lie. There's no reason to be getting outflanked by Myron Gaines. Come on.
Well, no. So what I will say is that, so when he got X, right? And he started getting hit on, excuse me, when he bought X, and then like people were like, they were taking a free speech crazy and people were being, critical of Israel and talking about all these different things. Like people tried to, Media Matters wrote a hit piece on him, right? Saying like, oh, look, these anti-Semitic posts are put right next to your advertisers, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up suing them, but they made him do the fucking ritual. He had to go to Auschwitz with, Ben Shapiro, put the hat on, the whole humiliation ritual. And then after that, he started playing ball. And then interestingly enough, Elon Musk, the only person that came to the U.S. that Elon left Texas to go visit was Netanyahu when he came here in, I think, late last year.
Yeah, but I mean, is that just because that's the only one who would meet with Elon Musk? I feel like he's not a very popular guy. If we go on X right now, it's like this is like the neo-Nazi paradise platform at the moment. Okay, it's crazy out there. It's not like he cleaned up a whole bunch. I mean, the Media Matters hit piece was you can call it a hit piece, but it was legitimate. It was kind of weird that you could scroll through something where it's like some actual crazy.
Well, they were doing that on purpose. Like they were doing advertisements on purpose. Like they were refreshing the page and I
understand. I've read the case, the complaint that they filed, and I know that Elon alleged that a lot of it was unfair. But I mean, you can create a new account on Twitter and you can scroll yourself and go and test it. You'll see some crazy shit, right next to a sponsor. It was pretty fucking wild. Now, as of right now, I think most sponsors have kind of come back because the price of advertising got cheap enough.
Yeah, and they cleaned it up too. They did clean it up after that hit piece.
Cleaned it up?
They did, dude. They did. I got demonetized. I got
demonetized too. I don't know.
Well,
but yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it's like an unfalsifiable thing. I think that there's plenty of reasons to explain why. I think a lot of old people in the U.S. fucking love Israel just because of the story, the Cold War, and everything.
A lot of dumb boomers.
I don't think you need necessarily. I don't think you need a conspiracy to explain why Trump is such a huge fucking Israeli dick suck. And I think you see the younger generation is definitely not.
Yeah, Myron Gaines is bugging there saying Twitter has cleaned up a little bit. Maybe they've tightened up the echo chamber. So if you don't really want to see that nonsense, you don't really get exposed to everything. That's fair, but it's still on there. Whatever you want to find on Twitter, you can find it. The algorithm shows you what you want to see. If you're a sports fan and you like LeBron, you're going to see a lot of pro LeBron, anti Michael Jordan stuff. But if you're a basketball fan that loves Jordan and thinks he's better than LeBron, you're going to see a bunch of that. The same thing with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. If you have two Twitter accounts and y'all both follow the WNBA, what you see depends on what you liked before. So the echo chambers has tightened. That doesn't mean it's not on the platform, which I'm not sure is a good thing because now people literally live in separate realities. Because we have different lenses, Twitter would try to guess our political leanings and flood us with that to ultimately keep us trapped in that echo chamber. I don't know if that's good for anybody. Maybe that's better for sponsors or ads, but that can't be good for our brains. So Destiny kind of has a point there. And the fact that there's a generational divide between older people and younger people in regards to the support of Israel really has to do with information and seeing things play out in real time, especially because a lot of things here have gone to shit. And the main reason they give us, the main excuse is, how are we going to pay for it? How are we going to pay for healthcare for everybody, transportation, housing, but then never have a question or debate on sending billions of dollars overseas? Eventually, people are going to get upset at that. And we've reached that point.
Well, yeah, they're just starting to wake up to this stuff. But the boomer generation, the people that watch Sean Hannity and Fox News, whatever, they are. But my point is that I think our foreign policy is controlled by them, and we need to stop being occupied by them. Because
if it was easy to buy somebody off, I mean, how many Arabs, Muslims are there? 2 billion?
Yeah,
there's got to be more money in that world to pay off a leader than however much.
Well, they have to register under FARA.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's AIPAC is not like Israel. Or wait, you probably think
they're not Israel, but they're American, a lot of times American Zionists that, obviously believe in Israel.
Sure, but you can make the same thing in the U.S. with an Arab group if you wanted, or a Muslim group, or a Saudi Arabian group, or whatever.
Yeah, dude, but come on. I mean, we could talk about Epstein, for example, right? Do you think if Epstein was Jeffrey Mohammed, that we would be concealing the fact that he was, an asset for a foreign intelligence service? No, the documents would have been declassified immediately.
Sure, but I don't think that would have been because, we're beholden to Israel. I think it's just because a lot of older Americans remember 9/11 and fucking hate Muslims and shit. It would be like, fuck this guy.
No, sure. But what the point is that if Epstein was Muslim, those documents would be out. If he was an Arab, those documents would be out. But the fact that he was tied in with Israeli intelligence, we still don't have the documents. We don't have anything. Oh, we're going to declassify him. Didn't bring anything out. It took 60 years to get the
Epstein is hard
documents.
The Epstein is hard. I truly believe. I don't think there is a book. There is no client list. I think that Epstein was a kind of a perverted dude. He had young people there. I don't think there's anything to be found from the Epstein stuff. I think that Trump played it up because they wanted it to be and because it looked good as a hit piece. But I think that like the people that pushed this the hardest would have been the ones with most incentive to kill him, right? Epstein died in 2019 in a Trump federal prison, right? What was it? Acosta was a Department of Labor secretary who was the criminal attorney, I think, who got
U.S. attorney
or U.S. attorney.
He was the U.S. attorney out of Southern District of Florida.
The nice deal so that he didn't have prison time for the first charges that he caught. Like if you wanted to make like Epstein, obviously, if he was on video saying, "Oh, Joe Biden is my best friend of 10 years," like people would be losing their mind because it was Trump. Nobody even knows about the call that's like publicly available. Yeah, I don't know. The issue I have, I guess, sometimes is that like I can see a bunch of stuff that like I understand, like there's good explanations for it. And I'm like, is there anything that's happening where it's like I can't explain that without some kind of like foreign push?
So here's my thing. I actually agree with you that like people are way too hyped up on the client list or whatever. And actually, to be honest with you, I was talking with you about this. Where people really need to look is the CIA. Because if he was actually a foreign agent for a foreign country, the CIA is going to have all that information. The FBI is strictly domestic. Like NSA, CIA. Honestly, Tulsi Gabbard is the one that's going to have everything when it comes to Epstein, because people forget that there's a criminal case and there's also a classified high side. That's the stuff that people want to see. So my thing is, I think the fact that he is aligned with the Israeli government is a big reason why they're not showing us that, because that's what people really want to see. Is there a client list? Maybe. But my thing is, I'm more interested in who was he working for? Why was he collecting the information that he was collecting? And what was he actually doing when he was in the US? Like, what were his meetings like, etc.
They both have a point. There might not actually be a client list, but I don't think that's the actual focus. The focus is really about the intelligence ties, whether it's CIA, Mossad, or whoever. Like, of course, we care about the victims, but we really want to know if there was a full-on blackmail campaign. For who? Why? Sure, what they got, the actual compromise, that's important. But the system, the actual full-on system, is the main focus. That list of clients is only going to tell us who were the ones caught up in the system. It's not going to tell us who's the ones controlling the system.
Because I guarantee
to be fair,
they have that.
That kind of stuff will never be released. Like ever. Like when they said stuff like that would never come out.
That's what they campaign on, and that's why people are so pissed off.
But that's like their issue. I think one big issue the Trump admin is going to have, like in the first term, because Trump doesn't know how to do politics. He didn't know anything about like what do my cabinet members do, or what do my agencies do? Now coming in, right? He's appointed absolute sycophants in every single cabinet position, and now he can't use those.
Yeah, he put loyalists instead of competent.
Yeah, so he can't use deep state excuses anymore, unless we're saying the deep state is even deeper than all the Trump control. And when you've got guys like Bongo Balls or whatever on Tim Pool saying, "I got a guy in the CIA who told me 100%," and now this guy is deputy of the FBI with Kash Patel or whatever, and they're like, "Oh shit, we actually have nothing. There's nothing's going on here." And Tulsi Gabbard says nothing is going on, and Pam Bondi says nothing's going on. Like, at what point is it like
has Tulsi Gabbard? Because that's who people really need to ask questions to. Because people forget like how the intelligence apparatus is, but she's the one that's going to have everything. She's going to have the high side stuff that people are actually interested in.
I mean, they say that, but like, what was the argument before? The argument, so Pam Bondi should theoretically have everything but the DOJ, but she's like, well, the Southern District of New York was hiding stuff from us. So is Tulsi Gabbard going to leave in 4 years and be like, actually, even though I was a director of National Intelligence, they were hiding stuff from me too? And it's like, fuck.
Well, the reason why I say her is because she's going to have access to all the classified stuff from the intelligence community, right? Like,
no, I understand theoretically, but I'm saying it feels like there's always a deeper state to point to once they're out of office. They're like, we couldn't get those files because somebody deep in this.
My bottom line is that if he had worked for the Saudi Arabian government, we would have those documents. But since he was tied in with the Israeli government, we're not getting those documents I guarantee why they're not going to release it. They're going to consider it national defense information, NDI. And off that, we can't release it. And then a lot of those people are still alive. Who knows what
I feel like this would be standard like, I don't think we would know about Saudi Arabia. I mean, they literally fucking chainsawed that one dude up in that embassy. We didn't do fuck all about that, right? I think at this point, most people believe.
Well, we wouldn't give that same level of Saudi Arabia, cool. But like I'm saying,
for Ukraine,
we give Israel is insane.
Maybe. I mean,
insane.
What was his name? Jasal?
Oh, Khashoggi?
Khashoggi.
Yeah,
I think
the Saudi Arabian guy.
It's pretty crazy. Like I'm pretty sure people saw him getting like carried out and
they killed him in Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. And then and look at like Ukraine. I think at this point, most people know that Zelensky might not have had personal knowledge, but Ukraine probably took out the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. We haven't released anything or said anything. Fuck all about that. I think it's pretty standard practice we have allies. We're not going to release like
sure. But like the amount of aid that we give them, the amount of money we give them, etc. Like I'm saying, like any other country, had Epstein not been aligned with Israel, let's say he had been aligned with Turkey, even Ukraine, some of our greatest allies, the info would have came out, is my argument.
I don't know.
It's speculative, but I think the info would have came out.
Erdogan was literally in the United States with his own bodyguards, like beating up U.S. citizens, and we didn't say fuck all about it. We're like, oh, he's cool, just we give a lot of deference to people we're
Erdogan
friends
is a
with.
scumbag, man.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turkey, it does a lot. I mean, Trump literally, when he left Syria, and Turkey was like, oh, we can go bomb these motherfucking Kurds now.
He's like the definition of like a guy that just talks shit, but
yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, we didn't do fuck all about it or condemn him or say anything bad about it. So I don't know. I think we get a lot of deference to our allies. It's hard to say.
but,
would it be
but
otherwise?
Israel, dude, come on, man. Come on, man. If it was Turkey, come on. If,
I don't
if-
know,
if
man.
Epstein was Turkish intelligence, that file would have been out, man.
Destiny ended strong there because that's a great point. If Epstein was a Saudi, this would get covered up the same exact way. It's all about money and power. It's not really religion and all the other stuff that Myron might be getting into. We don't have to rely on conspiracies. The truth is crazy enough. Real life is crazy enough. But for the most part there, Myron's definitely a little more reasonable than Destiny, even though Destiny came back in the 9th inning there. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you're still watching, you might as well like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.